Today on The Young and the Restless, Elena makes a decision. Victoria tells Nate he's at a crossroads, and Adam warns Nick about their father's latest move. At Newman, Nikki helps Nick find the paperwork for the Abu Dhabi project. Nikki muses that she heard the news, and she should probably be congratulating Sally and Adam. They're expecting a baby girl. Nick complains about the stunt his father pulled the other day. He tried to poach me. He gripes about his plan to have him work with Adam, so as to break up him and Sally. Nikki muses that children have a way of bringing their parents back together. Nick wonders if Sally and Adam are so perfect together, why aren't they an item now? Nikki says that's a good question. Sally opens her door to Adam and asks if he's her escort. He has no idea what she's talking about. Sally asks, "So your being here has nothing to do with Victor asking to see me?" Adam comes inside and says he's not his father's errand boy. Sally was just curious. Adam explained TGVN consults with no one. Sally says he texted to summon her. Adam thinks she'll need backup. Sally's not afraid of Victor Newman. Adam can predict it won't be nice and the scars could last a lifetime. Sally says he's not helping and asks why he's there. At the Abbott house, Summer paces and flashes to seeing Phyllis in the park. Kyle walks up behind her and startles her. She throws her arms around him. Kyle asks about the errand she had to run earlier. Summer says it was nothing and reminds him she asked for space. Kyle is glad she did whatever she did because this is the first time she's spoken sentences to him in quite some time. He asks her not to move into the guest room. Summer says she won't. He asks if she blames him for what happened to Phyllis. Is he guilty by association with his mother? Summer reassures him. Kyle knows his mother is innocent but respects the fact that she doesn't and never will unless they're lucky enough to get a miracle. He wishes he could find proof his mother wasn't involved and gripes that the police have tunnel vision. Kyle won't involve her in any of it. Summer is already involved and asks if they can please not. Kyle assures her as long as they have each other nothing else matters. They embrace. At Crimson Lights, Audra tells Elena she thought she might not be coming. Elena considered it. Audra never has good news for her. Audra reveals that she's delivered this time. I've tracked down JT Hellstrom. In bed in LA, Victoria tells Nate that she wants avocado toast. She explains how they're marketed, and he says she has a one-track mind. Business. Right now, Victoria has other ideas. She kisses him. Ignoring a phone call, Victoria says he's her top priority. She asks what he wants. Nate wants what he shouldn't want, because if he has it, it will only lead to trouble. Victoria doesn't think they're talking about carbs anymore. Nate can stay away from them, but staying away from her gets a lot more complicated. In Sally's suite, Adam tells her he wants to start a trust for the baby. Sally's stunned that he wants to do that now. Adam wants the baby to know she'll never want for anything. Sally tells him that's a conversation they'll never need to have. She knows how much he loves Connor. Adam assures her that their little firebrand will have access to everything the other kids have. Sally would never use their baby to grab a piece of the Newman pie. Adam knows that. Sally has to go because Victor is waiting. At Newman, Nikki tells Nick that Victor wants what's best for everyone in the family. She questions how long Sally will be able to keep Adam out of her life. Nick says they're putting up boundaries. Adam will have to figure out how he fits into their lives. End of story. In LA, Victoria tells Nate that some of the best things in life happen unexpectedly. Nate betrayed Elena and doesn't want to be the kind of guy who lies to his girlfriend. Victoria knows his conscience is bothering him. They didn't need to do this, the question is why did they? Nate sighs, he needs to do the right thing. From the patio in Crimson Lights, Elena video calls JT Hellstrom, who says he understands this is about a podcast. Elena tells him she hosts a podcast featuring people who have medical stories that have changed their lives. JT tells her about his brain tumor, but says he's not crazy about the idea of revisiting that time. He notes Elena works for Newman Enterprises. If the request came from Victoria, then he would hear her out. Elena hedges and he assumes that Victoria wants to stay in the wings. He laments the things he did when he had the tumor. Elena says it's his chance to let the world know he only did those things because of his condition. She wants to book him into a hotel, but he has no desire to return to Genoa City again. In LA, Nate tells Victoria she's irresistible. She muses, "So you do like me." He likes everything about her, and that's part of the problem. What he feels for her is far more than the physical attraction. Victoria guesses the question is, what do we do now? In the Abbott house, Kyle holds Summer and says he loves this. All of it. Summer wishes they could stay like that forever. The second they move, the world will rush in, and it's not as much fun as it used to be. Kyle asks if she's hungry. She probably should be. Kyle hollers, Tressie, anyone. Summer giggles that he'll have to get up and get it himself. He asks her not to move and says, I love you. She replies, I love you more. They kiss. Once alone, Summer flashes to Phyllis saying, you either save your mother-in-law or you save me. She grabs her coat and walks out. At Newman, Nikki and Nick laugh as she notes that babies love him. Adam walks in. He asks if Nikki would mind if he interrupted for a moment to talk to Nicholas. Nikki heard he's expecting a little girl and offers congratulations. Adam appreciates it. Once she's gone, Nick tells Adam if this is about McCall, he doesn't want to be involved. Adam says it's not about business, it's about Victor. Sally meets Victor at society. He says he understands congratulations are in order. A little girl is on the way. Sally says they're all very excited. Victor asks, you mean all? That includes Nicholas and the father. Sally supposes it's a little complicated. Victor remarks on his son's penchant for falling for the same woman. Sally says her relationship with Adam is ancient history and she and Nick are very happy. She doesn't see that changing. Victor didn't ask her there to talk about her love life, but about her child. There are certain things she needs to know before the baby's born. In Los Angeles, Nate tells Victoria he was supposed to be a different man when he took this job. Victoria muses that now he's in a hotel room with the wrong woman. He says, right woman, wrong time. Victoria wishes she had a time machine and assures him there's no expectations. Nate says he's just trying to be the kind of man that, Victoria finishes, Elena wants you to be. She thinks it's time to decide if he wants to be someone else's version of who you should be, or do you want to be happy? At Crimson Lights, Elena reminds JT that he only did those things because he had a brain tumor. She can't imagine people holding it against him. JT tells her Geno City has a long memory and it's the last thing he needs. Her heart's in the right place, but he's not going there. Elena would really like to have him here, so she asks him to take some time to consider it. He agrees. Elena says, you have my number. Best of luck to you, JT. At society, Sally concedes to Victor that she doesn't know much about parenting. He questions her about her family and friends. Sally has her Grams, her sister, and Chloe, but she's always been independent. Victor knows she was abandoned by her parents and he was too, so he can understand. It's a tough way to grow up. Sally says it builds character. Victor wants her to know her girl will grow up surrounded by loving family and will want for nothing. Sally tells him it means a lot to know her child is already being welcomed into the Newman family. Victor next tells Sally that nothing should get in the way of her career. Nothing at all. You're very gifted and very talented. He's sorry he interfered in her bid with Jill. Sally says he delayed things, but she's still been making her dreams come true. Victor again tells her she's very gifted and says he has a proposal for her. At Newman, Adam tells Nick he dropped by to see Sally and she was stepping out. She had been summoned by Victor. Nick thanks him and immediately heads for the door. Adam says, no, Nick, you can't. Nick asks who's going to stop him. Adam replies, me. In Los Angeles, Nate asks, what do we do? Victoria says they'll start by being fully clothed in each other's presence and never being alone in a room together. Nate wonders what will happen when she blushes while remembering the things they did together. Victoria announces she's going to take a shower, alone. Don't look. She drops her robe and he peeks. At Crimson Lights, Elena tells Audra that JT was receptive to the idea, but he only wants to record remotely. Audra wants her to convince him to come to Geno City. It would snap Victoria out of her thing with Nate. Elena doesn't want to drag the guy into her relationship drama. Audra tells her she would bust up Victoria's monopoly with Nate, and everything would be the way it's supposed to be. Elena has a different plan. She's leaving for LA and is going to find out once and for all what's going on. At Newman, Adam tells Nick that Sally was pretty adamant about seeing Victor on her own. He suggests Nick focus on damage control after the fact. Nick intones that they won't let anything happen to her or the baby. Adam hopes Victor knows that too. Nick thanks him for letting him know about this. Adam says there's nothing he wouldn't do for those two. At Society, Victor offers to back any business Sally wants to start, no strings attached. Sally guesses that it can't be in Genoa City. Victor says that's right, it can be anywhere but there. Sally's confused because he just told her he wants his granddaughter to be a part of the Newman family. Victor says, that's right. He wants her to grow up on the ranch surrounded by uncles, aunts, cousins. Anything she wants will be hers. Sally states, my baby stays and I go. Victor tells her she's very ambitious and he'll fully finance her. He has a feeling she'll make the right decision, not only for herself but for her baby. Thank you for coming. With that, he gets up and walks out. Sally fights emotions and fumes.